Man bought an old, broken-down BMW from a retired car dealer for a very cheap price, without knowing what he would find inside. The dealer, an elderly man, insisted Brian take this specific car and even offered it at a very low price. This made Brian suspicious, but he eventually agreed and brought the car home. He was excited but couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Back in his garage, Brian inspected the car. It looked mostly fine except for a broken carburetor. Determined to clean it out, he started removing the junk from inside. The interior was cluttered with old tissues and food wrappers. Then, Brian opened the glove compartment, which was stuffed full. He pulled out 4 heavy plastic bags and wondered what could be inside them. With curiosity building, he carefully opened the first bag. What he saw left him stunned and speechless. Brian stared at the gold bars and stacks of money he found in the glove compartment. Overwhelmed, he felt a rush of emotions. Joy at the value before him, but also deep fear about what it could mean. This much money and gold had to be tied to something illegal. Brian paced around his garage, anxiety taking over. He knew what he had to do: call the police and report what he found. Within minutes, police officers arrived at Brian's house. They inspected the car, their faces serious as they noted the contents. One officer looked at Brian and asked, "Where did you get this car?" Brian, trying to stay calm, explained he had bought it from an elderly car dealer at a junkyard. The officers exchanged glances and asked him to show them the place. Brian led them to the junkyard, but when they arrived, he was shocked. The once full lot was empty. All the cars were gone. Only a small shed stood in the middle of the deserted lot. The officers approached the shed and found the door unlocked. Inside, there was nothing but a bare table. On the table lay a single letter addressed to Brian. With shaking hands, Brian picked it up and read aloud. The letter explained that the retired dealer had been unwillingly involved in a major bank heist years ago. The criminals had forced him to help by threatening his family, using his dealership as a storage for their stolen goods. Unable to go to the police, the old man endured years of torment. But when he retired, he came up with a plan to get the evidence out without the gang noticing. He used Brian, a stranger, as a way to move the evidence safely. After Brian took the car, the old man and his family fled to Mexico, finally free from the criminals' grip. The letter ended with a note: "Check behind the steering wheel." Confused but determined, Brian and the officers returned to his garage. After searching, Brian found a small piece of paper tucked behind the steering wheel. It had coordinates to the gang's main hideout. The police sprang into action, quickly mobilizing their team.